Yesterday morning, I did a radio hit with Mike Gill on 97.5, and he said to me, what would your starting rotation, if they only need 3 men, what does it look like? I said, well, certainly it starts with Sanchez. And we're trending, I think, in a direction where if Luzardo can continue to be consistent, I think right now probably gives you the most upside in that rotation. So I think that you give him the ball because I think he's the guy that can go out and potentially shut down a team for 6 innings. Now, he may blow up, but I think that he at least has the ability to go out and dominate an opponent. And so I think I would ride with that. That's my opinion. But then when it comes to that third starter, I'm curious to know what you think about that. But then when it comes to the third starter, I told Mike, I think it's going to be Aaron Nola because I don't think he's a bullpen option. I think that he still has the pedigree. He has the experience. And I expect after he comes back and gets the ball a couple times that he will pitch more like the Aaron Nola that we saw last season. Fast forward 24 hours, and we watch Aaron Nola unable to get through 3 innings yesterday against a dreadful Nationals team. And I know that they're young and chippy and have some interesting players, and that's fine. But, I mean, that's a AAA team. And he got pummeled in that 3rd inning. He had no answer, couldn't stop the bleeding. I'm willing to allow for 1 or 2 times back here before I start saying, like, all right, this is just what it is. Like, I understand, you have rehab appearances. I get that, but I'm not going to kill Aaron Nola today. But I cannot sit here and tell you, simply write that off. He looked good for 2 innings. This is Aaron Nola we're talking about. He deserves the benefit of the doubt. Like, I can't do it. He was so bad before he went on the injured list, and then he was so bad yesterday. I haven't seen Aaron Nola pitch in a year where I say, like, for a consistent stretch of time, I feel great about this. I trust this.
Yeah, no, and you're right. And it's funny because, you look at that start yesterday, he gives up a hit in the first batter of the game and then immediately steals second. And the first thought in your head is, here we go.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good. And then he pitches out of it, does a nice job, gets out of that inning, right? Doesn't give up the run. Second inning, he's dominant. Strikes out the first batter of the 3rd inning. You're up 6-0. You're thinking to yourself, okay, like, and I didn't think he was going to go long in the game anyway. I felt like the Phillies were only going to limit him to 5 1/3, 5 2/3, something like that. He wasn't.
Yeah, Fransky on the radio yesterday said that 85 was realistic coming in.
Yeah, right. And so like I thought somewhere between 5 and 6 innings was probably his max. So you're at 2 1/3, and he's looked good, and you're thinking, don't have much more to go, and this will be a successful start for him. And then it was just a matter, and it was weird too, Bob, because he was throwing first pitch strikes. He was getting ahead of the hitters. And then he would just miss.
Yeah.
And the pitch was a cutter that wouldn't cut. It was center cut in the middle of the zone. Just like too much, just not hitting his spots. And the thing with Aaron Nola when he pitches is he has to hit spots because he's not blowing pitches by anybody, right? So for him, it's all about command and location. And in a matter of a handful of pitches, he lost complete command and location of what he was doing. Now, of course, you could say, hey, first start back, this does happen. If you go back to May 4th, I think it was, Ranger Suarez's first start this year. He had missed the first month of the season, missed some time in spring training. Like, he didn't look good. It was against the Diamondbacks. He got torched. He got hit hard, gave up 7 runs, and then he went out in his next 12 starts, and they were all quality starts.
Yeah.
Right? So you could argue that, hey, first start back. But the difference, as you've pointed out with Aaron Nola, is this is how he looked beforehand when he went on the injured list. And when he came off, it's the same thing. So I don't think there's as much of a runway this time as there would have been had this been, say, his first start of the year and this happened. And, he had missed the whole year up to this point. I think that he gets a little bit, he would have gotten more leeway in that regard. The fact that he looks the same as he did just before he went on the injured list gives him a little less room for get back to where you need to be or else.
Yeah, his season ERA sits at 6.92 right now. It's almost impossible to believe it's that bad. And I sent you a text message yesterday. I said, you know what? The way that Nick Castellanos is going, it's time for me to intervene. I have to do something about this. I need to put my reverse hex hat on and get to work. And what did I text you? I said, Castellanos, I think, goes over his first 2 yesterday. I said, do you know that right now, Nick Castellanos with a 691 OPS actually has a lower OPS than Aaron Nola's 692 ERA? And I actually was going to tweet it out because it was just it's so bad. And it's also $44 million worth of salary between these two guys, no less. But I was like, I'm not going to tweet this out because he's going to end up hitting a home run. He's going to end up hitting a double, and people are going to be like, oh, yeah, good stat. How long did that last?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to wait till the end of the game. If he gets it back up, then I'm not going to tweet it. And he did. To Nick Castellanos' credit, he collected his second and third base hits of the month of August yesterday. So here comes the Nick Castellanos heater. I just don't know. I mean, it's funny, though. The only other thing I'll say about the starting rotation in this moment, it's like, okay, Sanchez, do you agree with me? Luzardo would probably be one of your 3 right now?
Right now, it has to be because his last 4 starts have been better.
Yeah.
It looks like he's gotten past some of the stuff that was bothering him for 2 months. But I don't say that with supreme confidence because he has been inconsistent. He is an emotional pitcher. Sometimes he lets the game get to him and things snowball on him, right? So, yeah, right now he is. Right now Taijuan Walker is.
Well,
right
so
now,
that's what's kind of funny about this whole thing. If I said to you, hey, you have a veteran guy who's paid handsomely, and all he has done is everything that you've asked of him this year. Guy has a 3.3 ERA, almost 100 innings pitched at this point. You've given him no stability, no consistency in his role all season long, and he's out here throwing gem after gem for you right now, giving your team a chance to win. Most people would look at those statistics and say, well, how does he not start? Of course he's the guy.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm not there. I don't know. I'm just definitely not there.
You can't be there. You just can't be.
He's done a great job, and I felt sorry for him on Saturday. I mean, he showed up. Nobody else did. He showed up. He did his job, and he's done his job.
Yeah, one bad pitch. The entire game, one bad pitch, really, and that it was a 2-run double, or whatever it was, right? So that's it. The rotation. It's so funny, Bob, because even a month ago, we would have sat here and said, Phillies have the best rotation in baseball still. And that's what's going to carry them. And that's how Dombrowski went into the deadline. Like, we're going to double down on our rotation, and this is how we're going to support it at the deadline. And that now all of a sudden it's less than a month.
What has essentially happened here is that Ranger Suarez's ability to regain some semblance of velocity and look more like the guy that he did back in June, that was a luxury. If that happened, it would be considered a luxury development. If Aaron Nola came back and pitched like Aaron Nola has pitched previously, that would have been a luxury for this team. And again, now it's more of a necessity that he performs. It's not just, well, this is a lost year, but maybe if he comes back and throws the ball well, like, we'll deal with that. Now you're like, man, we really need you to deliver for us. The other part of it is, do you think that this team wanted to go to a 6-man rotation? They showed you that when they had everybody healthy, they wanted to go to a 6-man rotation. Part of that, I'm sure, was helping Zack Wheeler navigate this dead arm period. Part of that was probably looking at Ranger Suarez's diminished velocity and saying, if we can buy him some extra rest, let's do it. I think that they're cognizant of the innings totals that Christopher Sanchez is racking up ahead of October. Same thing with Jesus Luzardo. Like, they wanted to go 6-man. Zack Wheeler's not a part of it anymore. Do you think that this team has any thought? Like, you know what? Let's bring up Andrew Painter. Let's go to a 6-man, and we'll roll that way.
I don't think so. I don't think they want to call up Painter unless they absolutely 100% had to. I think they want him to earn his call-up, and he has not done that at AAA.
He did, for what it's worth, throw the ball. I mean, I don't think it's enough to say, okay, you're ready, you deserve it. But, I mean, he threw the ball fairly well the other night. He ran into some first-inning trouble. He was not helped by his defense in that inning. He settled down, only allowed 2 earned runs over 5. And the final 4 were scoreless. A couple walks, though, again. Like, that's what I'm like, come on, man, you got to limit that stuff. If you're looking at it, you say, all right, situationally, he gives up a couple of runs, no big deal. But I feel like that command has just not been there for the last 6-7 weeks now with him.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't necessarily know if they bring him. I would think you would need another guy to go down before you think about bringing up Painter.
Yeah.
I think that's where they're at. By the way, I shared a tweet with you yesterday just because I thought it was funny, not because I'm using it as a defend Aaron Nola.
Yeah.
But, yesterday's game, his ERA from the game yesterday, just the game itself was 23.14. His fielding independent pitching was 0.97. How does that happen? How do you get torched in an inning the way he did and have a FIP that low?